it's Mommy Tang. Okay, so if you are into organic, strictly vegan, well, yeah, organic and no process and rather eat everything whole food, this video is probably not for you. You're not gonna like it because this is about a little bit of processed food, and it's mainly, this video is for those that you live with, meat eater, that you have to cook, you know, like a family member or a friend or whatever, that you want them to try more vegan food, and you could kind of like, you know what I mean, sneak this in to make it taste more like meat, but there is no meat in there. So just to make this thing clear, when you go out to like restaurants that have a lot of vegan options in Asian markets or restaurants, believe me, they put a lot of salt, and I am sure, well, I don't want to say that, but they put some kind of chemical or something like that, or even one of these I'm trying to tell you, because it's really hard to make those kind of flavor just using strictly vegetable, in my opinion, you know, because especially when it comes to soups, because seriously, I try for like years now to get the flavor of the soup that I like without using any you know, source of like any help with whatever, just using vegetables. It never came out like that. So ever since I became vegan, it was more easier for me to just not eat the soup broth things, and then just eat just kind of whole food based. But now that I've been vegan for over 2 years, you know, I started missing a lot of my food that I used to eat before I became vegan, because, you know, I ate those food for over 30 something years, you know. So especially soups. I mean, I'm Korean and I love all Korean soup, and they're basically all meat broth based. So for me to make a dish without that, it would taste really off. Like for example, I'm just gonna give you like, I don't know if you know what bibimbap is. Bibimbap is where you put a whole bunch of vegetables, put rice, and then you mix it up and you eat it. It's almost like a cooked rice salad dish. Stuff like that I don't eat. You could make it veganized and you could eat it. Now, if you're making, for example, like seaweed soup, or even miso soup, or even any type of soup, it has, the base is usually the beef bone broth, or chicken broth, or fish like anchovy broth. So to get rid of that and start all over, like to make it with just a whole bunch of vegetables, it's always off. And especially to fool the meat eaters to eat that, they'll be like, no, this tastes really weird, and they won't eat it. So especially my husband, he's not picky with food, but he loves you know, food that tastes good, and he's used to certain flavors. And if I made that with just using vegetables, he'd be like, oh, no, this just tastes really off. So I was, like I said, I wasn't making that for a while. Then we went to eat pho. So pho is Vietnamese noodle soup, and they usually make it with beef broth, but you could get tons of vegetarian pho. So, you know, that's the only time that I would go out, but I don't know how to really make pho. I'm sure if I like Google, then I could make it, but it's easier for me to just go and, you know, just buy it that day. So, you know, I would go and eat it, and then I would come home and I'm like, there's no way they make that without anything in it, you know, just vegetables and water, you know what I mean? So one day, you know, I go to my sister-in-law's house. She's Vietnamese and her mom's there, and I said, oh, you know, how do you make pho and stuff like that? She said, oh, you're vegan, right? I was like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, a couple times a month I don't eat meat because I'm Buddhist. And I was like, really? So how do you make your pho? Then she's like, oh, I use this. And she gave me this. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm very natural. Like I try to do natural foods and stuff like that. So I don't think this will work. But I read the back and it was like not bad. It only had mushroom powder, salt, mushroom extract, calcium powder, and vitamin B. So I'm like, this is interesting. So I said, thank you. And I brought it home and I started playing with it. And oh my God, it was like night and day. It was so funny because I start making some of the broth, some of the soup-based food that needed really heavy, like meat, whatever based broth. I started making them, and I actually fooled my husband a couple times. Like, he had no idea that there was no meat in there. So I was really excited because I wasn't feeding him meat, but he thought he was eating like a meat broth based soup. So I just, I don't use it every day, but I do use it here and there when I have guests over, or when I need some food that need that, like, like you can't be eating bacon and not taste like bacon. It has to taste like bacon, I guess, but like a lot of the soup or even like the sauce based food, I will put a little bit in there, and then it really change up the flavor. And like I said, you could really Google and see what's in there and learn about it, but life is not about being 100% like whole food, clean food, everything perfect. You just can't live like that. I tried when I first came vegan, like high carb, low fat, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay organic, I'm gonna stay whole food, I'm not gonna eat anything processed, but it's hard to live like that. So once in a while, you just have to give yourself a little break, and this is a little break that I give myself. So the reason I'm introducing you guys to this is because I'm thinking of putting some recipes out there, like a cheat recipes or something with a little bit of oil, a little bit of, maybe processed food in there, whatever, First, I wanted to do a lot, mostly I wanted to show you guys that you could eat very healthy eating this way. But also, there are other dishes that you could make, just using very, very little of, like the cheap ingredients to make amazing dishes that are vegan, and that maybe your meat eaters or your meat eater family member or friend could eat it, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's really love it. And then maybe that could teach them, or that could like maybe change them to become vegan, because they're like, oh, vegan food is not that bad after all. Instead of saying, oh, vegan food is so boring, because a lot of the times, like, that's what people are afraid of, to go from like meat eating, whatever, to go to vegan. Like, I have to give up this, I have to give up this and this and that. They're not really afraid of giving up the actual beef, actual pork, actual like whatever. If you could find something that we could replace that, I really don't think they mind. Because if you think about it, there's a lot of dish out there that's like, they don't, categorize it as vegan, like, spaghetti with marinara sauce. You're not going to say that's vegan. It's just the spaghetti with just, clean sauce. Stuff like that. There are plenty of Asian food out there that use just vegetables, and, you could give it to them as like an Asian dish, Asian dinner tonight. You don't have to say this is vegan dinner, So please look into it. I'm going to try to find a link to Amazon, whatever, so just in case you're not around Asian markets, you could look this up on Google it, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna do a little close shot of what they are, and I have 3 of them. I actually bought 3 for you guys to see, because there was like more than 8 or 9 brands there, and some of them had like really heavy MSG and all this weird chemical, so I didn't even bother with that. So these 3 were close to no MSG for sure, and had little ingredients that were very simple. And I'm telling you, just a little bit of essence, a little bit of this could seriously fool the meat eaters or the loved ones that you want to, And Asian food, I'm telling you, Asian food is really easy to do that, because like, I'm Asian, right? So when people eat Asian food, as long as it tastes good, they don't really know what they're eating. As long as it tastes amazing, they'll be like, yeah, this is good. And you could just cook often. This is main reason I want to post a lot of Asian recipe for you guys, because you might, some of the recipes I post here, you might be like, well, I wonder what it tastes like. I don't know what it tastes like, whatever. But once you make it, eat it, you'll be like, wow, this is really good. I never knew vegetable could taste this way, because it's really boring to eat just pasta, or it's just boring to eat just steamed, vegetables. And there's a lot of vegan channels. I'm sure there's, I follow a lot of vegan channels, and they do recipes on like baking and stuff. That's amazing too. But sometimes just getting out of that little circle and just go a little beyond and cook something, it tastes amazing. And it's just vegetables. What can you go wrong with vegetables? You know what I mean? Meat, it's like you get a little fishy, like, I don't know, even when I wasn't vegan, I was like, well, this is sausage is made in US, or I know this brand of sausage, I eat it. But if it's made in like, I don't know, like in like some part of Indonesia or some part of Asia or China or Korea, I'll be like, I don't know what they put in there, I don't know, But as long as it's vegetable, I was okay with it. I don't know why, but I was always like that. So anyways, mushroom seasoning, look into it, and I will be posting recipes. The reason this week is really a huge delay is because I used to film everything on my iPhone. My husband just got me a Canon camera, really DSLR camera, very, very nice camera. So I could, I guess soup up this editing and stuff like that to make it really nice for you guys. So it just takes me a little bit for me to learn the camera and do the editing through the computer and stuff like that. But once I get going, I'm sure the videos will look nicer, and you guys will love it more. So that was the main reason. But anyways, I'll see you later. Bye. Okay, so here are the 3 brands I picked up from the market, only because it actually said no MSG for most of them. See, no MSG. So that was the first thing that I made sure. I'm just gonna go through the difference between. This is the one my sister-in-law's mother gave me, which I really liked, and the ingredients were mushroom powder, salt, mushroom extract, and calcium powder, which was okay, but B, I don't know what that B is. I'm just assuming it's vitamin B. So it was not bad. This I actually picked up before I picked these 2 up from the market. It was $9.90. These were $7.49 US, both $7.99, I believe that this was, and this was $9.99. Vegetarian seasoning. It actually had though something that I could not pronounce, nucleotide, I guess, and asparagus powder, which I don't mind, you know what I mean? So this was a little bit of a question. I was like, I don't know. This one right here by Ego is cholesterol free, mushroom seasoning, you know what I mean? And it's just MSG free, glutamate, or yeah, that's MSG. See, complementary to MSG and chicken essence, you know what I mean? So it just looks like a lot of info, but it's really not, because some of them are in Vietnamese and Chinese and stuff like that. And this one was basically mushroom powder, salt, mushroom extract, and calcium. So I really like this one, and the storage is 3 years. So I'm gonna open this one and see. So those are the 3 that you could look for, whatever you think that's appropriate for you. The only thing was, like I said, make sure there are a lot of mushroom seasoning out there with tons of MSG in them, so you don't want that, Just try to stay away from chemical as far as possible.